ترضى عنك اليهود ولا النصارى حتى تتبع ملة. صدق Allah. صدق Allah. Mr. Chairman and my dear brothers and sisters, at the outset, I don't really have to apologize through no fault of mine that quite a lot of my brothers, they were not permitted to get into the Royal Albert Hall Assembly. One of my dear brothers, one of me, he tells me that the police kicked him because they would arrest him, take him to prison, all that kind of thing. That brother, I mean, everybody is complaining, but I can't offer what I'm offering that brother in particular. You know, the one who told me about the police kicking him and, wanting to take him to prison. I'm offering that brother a videotape of the Royal Albert Hall lecture, absolutely free. Please, I want you to give me your name and address. If you'll just put up his hand, then my son is here, you give him the name and address. That brother was telling me about the police kicking him. Which brother was that? There. Yes. Let me give you the whip now. You can buy the horse later. The reason for all that turmoil was that hall was booked by the Christians. You see, it was booked by the Christians because they had challenged us. And when they challenged me, I said, now look, you challenge me, you go and book the hall. Then I will come down. In other words, otherwise you can get every type of puppy. Little dogs, Pekingese, everybody wants to challenge the man. So you can say, I challenged Ahmed Deedat, and I took him to task. I said, no, if you want to have that privilege, you must pay the price. So the guy agreed. Now since he agreed, he paid the price, so the tickets were in his hands. They were supposed to give us 50-50. Half. But the guy didn't play the game. We will not do it. But in the future, I assure you that we will not go to the Royal Albert Hall anymore. That's finished now. No more. It's too small, we have realized it. So either we go to Wembley Stadium or to the exhibition hall in Birmingham, where I'm told that some 20,000 people can be accommodated. The topic I have chosen for this evening's talk is the challenge of Islam. This is a Christian publication. The title of this book is The Challenge of Islam. That is the topic for this evening's talk. In the verse that I read to you from Allah's Kalam, Allah gives us an eternal reminder about our relationship, the Muslims' relationship with the Jews and the Christians. There can be no mistake about that. He's telling us in the clearest terms, he says, وَلَنْ تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. That the Jews and the Christians, Allah says, will never learn. I understand in Arabic means a double negative. Will never be satisfied with you, O Muslims, unless you follow the brand of religion. And I don't know whether you know that if you choose to opt out because of Muslim, if you want to join the Roman Catholic Church, the Anglicans won't be satisfied. If you become an Anglican or any other Protestant church, the Jehovah's Witnesses won't be satisfied with you. If you become a Jehovah's Witness, the Seventh-day Adventists won't be satisfied with you. They have 1,000 different churches and denominations, and each and every one is made to believe that he's on the right and even the Christians are all in the wrong. See, the Roman Catholics say we are the true Christians, the original church. Peter, the first Pope, he started it. And all the others who call themselves Protestants have protested away from the true path. So the Lutherans, the Anglicans, the Methodists, the Presbyterians, and 1,000 different churches, they have protested away. So they are out of the faith of Christianity. But they tolerate one another when it suits them. But in the heart of hearts, in their minds, they do not accept the others as one of themselves, like themselves. So they will never be satisfied. Now on what branch you follow? If we choose with this, that anyone, the other Christians won't be satisfied with you. And this has been from the very beginning. From the very beginning of Islam, the Jews were telling the Muslims. Allah says in His Kalam, so وَقَالُوا, and they say, لَنْ يَدْخُلَ الْجَنَّةَ إِلَّا مَنْ كَانَ هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارًا. That you Muslims will never, again double negative, will never enter Jannah. There is no Jannah, there is no heaven for you, there is no paradise for you, unless you become a Jew or unless you become a Christian. This is what they have been supposed to. They're telling the very Muslims. They said, you follow this man, illiterate person, he doesn't know how to read or write. You follow him. You'll go to perdition, you'll go to hell. You want to go to heaven? The Jew says, follow us. The Christian says, you want to go to heaven? You follow us. In answer to that, Allah says, Tilka amaniyuhum. This is the wishful thinking, vain desires, hallucination. You say, bakwas, blah, blah, blah. Don't be afraid of that. Tell them how to do it. So produce your evidence. If you are speaking the truth, let us have a look at your Quran, your proof, your certificate that sends you to heaven and destines us to Jahannam, hell. Let's have a look at your proof. And they have produced the proof. In 2,000 different languages. Do you know that? The Bible. In 2,000 different languages. She said, my Bible says this, my Bible says that, my Bible says this, my Bible says that. They have 11 different Bibles for the Arabs alone. Did you know that? I was thinking that there was only one Arabic language, the language of the Quran. That's what I thought. And I thought all the Arabs speak that language. But now they are telling me, I've got a sample here, of 11 different Arabic Bibles. Dialects, script, types of writing. Oh, there is an Egyptian script, Egyptian Arabic. Then there is here, it says Tunisian script. It says here Al-Karshuni, for the Syrian. There is Algerian colloquial. There is Tunisian colloquial. There is Egyptian colloquial. I didn't know all this. And there is the Moorish colloquial. And there is the Palestinian. And there is the Southern Sudan. For everyone, a different dialect, different Bible. So you Arabs have no excuse on the day of judgment as a Christian speak. They can say, Ya Bari Dada, for these Arabs we gave them a Bible in their own dialect. Whatever dialect they want, we gave it to them. And the guys still didn't pass them to the fall, sent them to hell. Now when Allah Bari Dada commands us to demand proof, it presupposes that when proof is produced, you will be able to analyze it. Otherwise it makes no sense. When Allah tells us demand proof, and the guy gives the proof, we must analyze it. We are not going to solve it. So they produced the Bible in 2,000 different languages. 2,000 different languages they can use the Bible. Proof. My Bible says this, my Bible says this. Now we analyze it. This is how Allah is commanding us to analyze it. When you analyze it, you find they haven't got a leg to stand up. And it is so easy, wallahi, it's so easy to deal with them. On this basis, the basis of the Quran. Allah says, demand proof. Let's see the proof. And he hasn't got what he's telling you. It's not there. He's programmed. See, we all get programmed. It's a natural thing, from childhood. My Hindu cousins, they program the little children. This monkey is our God. This elephant is our God. This handsome man is our God. This is our Rama. This is our Krishna. This is our Sita. This is our Hanuman. This is our Ganesh. They are programmed. And as we grow up, we will start cringing for these images. Programmed. We can laugh at it. So how can human beings in the 20th century go and stoop down before these things? No, it can't happen. Programmed. So the Christian also is programmed. From childhood. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. See? It's programmed. He believes that Jesus Christ is the only begotten Son of God. Begotten. Says Adam? Yes, the Son of God in the Bible. God has got sons by the tons, but no. Jesus is not like that. He was begotten, not made. Adam was made by God. Jesus was not like that. He was begotten. Begetting is an animal act. He belongs to the lower animal functions of sex. How can we attribute such a quality to God? That they are. So now, the Muslim, Islam is the only religion which comes into conflict with Christianity. From the point of view that Islam claims to correct, complete, and supersede Christianity. No other religion does that. The only religion which tells the Christians, look, this is not right. You mustn't eat the pig. It's not in your book. Jesus Christ never had it. That's true. None of his disciples ever had that stuff. Jesus went and killed 2,000 pigs, one hit. You know, we believe that when he's coming in the second coming, he's going to destroy the pig. What destroy the pig? He started 2,000 years ago. He killed 2,000, one hit, just like that. What? If it was a good thing, would you have done it? If it was an edible stuff, we would have done it. 2,000 pigs, one day he destroyed in the Bible. So don't eat the pig. Don't drink alcohol. Don't be promiscuous. Don't gamble. Every step we are contradicting the doctrine. Islam has come to correct, complete, and supersede. The Hindu will tell the Christian, look, you keep to your religion, we keep to mine. You be a good Christian, I'll be a good Hindu. He'll tell you the same thing. Say, look, you be a good Muslim, I'll be a good Hindu. Alright? Don't leave me alone. The Jew says he minds his own business. He said, look, he's not interested in converting anybody. He's made his religion a racial religion. You have to be born a Jew to be a Jew. They don't want converts. Because the whole world, to them, are goyim, napa, galim, filthy, dirty people. Gentiles. The whole world. They don't want the Gentiles, the rubbish, to come into the religion. So they make the religion a racial religion. So Islam comes along. Allah has given us this deen. He's telling us that He has given you a deen, لِيُزْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ, that it may prevail, overcome, and supersede every other deen, every other way of life. Whether it be Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianism, communism, every ism, Islam is destined to master them all, bulldoze them all. This is the best of Islam. The road which we are experiencing, where they are making inroads into our community, where they are stealing our children, where they are using us as doormats, as punching bags, going to make mess in our head. That road is our choice. This is not our destiny. The destiny Allah gives us is Deen is to master them all, bulldoze them all. وَلَوْ كَرِيَ الْكَافِرُونَ. So now how many unbeliever might not like it. وَلَوْ كَرِيَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ, another place. Now how the Muslims might not like it. And he repeats the same formula. Again in the Quran, 3 times in the Holy Quran, he repeats the same formula. He said, هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى. He is who sent his messenger with guidance. He is haq and with the religion of truth. He is here of all the deen. That it may prevail, overcome, and supersede every other deen. And enough is Allah is a witness to this fact that He is going to make His deen to prevail with you or without you. This is His promise. This road that we are now experiencing is our choice. It is not our destiny. The destiny is Islam to master them all. So Islam is a challenge on all sides to everyone. Last and final revelation of Allah Ta'ala, most perfected deen, as He says, الْيَوْمَ أَكْمَلْتُ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ. Says, this day I have perfected for you your religion, وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي, and have completed my favors unto you, وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, and I will that Islam should be your religion. Perfect. Nothing to get. Doesn't need anyone. He's given you a deen, perfect deen. And it's a challenge to the whole of mankind. It's a challenge to the Hindus, to the communists, to the atheists, to the agnostics, to the Christians, to the challenge to everybody. More especially to the Christians. Because once these lands in the Middle East were all Christian lands, this city was Christian. Lebanon was Christian. All these areas, you call Jordan and all these tiddly bits, all was Christian. Whole of North Africa was Christian. All Christian land at one time. And when Islam comes on the scene, bulldozes them all then. And change. And they are Islam, Muslim. It's a challenge. Once Christian land, they have lost it. Then they conquered our land through superior manpower. They ruled us. They ruled us for 100 years in India. Pakistan, Indo-Pakistan. They ruled our Indonesian brother for 300 years. They ruled Mozambique for 500 years. 500 years. Mozambique is a Muslim country. Did you know that? Even today, 60% of the people in Mozambique are Muslim. Did you know that? When the Portuguese, 500 years ago, when they were finding a route to India for our spices, they were finding a route to India. They knocked hells into our blood because of the superior background, and they conquered this place called Mozambique. Mozambique was a Muslim territory. There was a Muslim governor, an Arab. His name was Musa bin Baig. Musa bin Baig. The Portuguese couldn't say Musa bin Baig, so they said Mozambique. And it just started. Mozambique is a Musa bin Baig. Like Jabal al-Tariq, they couldn't say Jabal al-Tariq. Tariq was the Muslim commander who crossed into Spain and said, burn the boats. They burned the boats. So it's Jabal. Jabal means mountain of Tariq. Jabal al-Tariq. Let's can't say Jabal al-Tariq. They say Jabal Gibraltar. No, it's a Muslim territory. Challenge. Manila, the capital of the Philippines. Manila is Ma'amunullah. With the help of Allah, they reach there. Ma'amunullah, they can't say Ma'amunullah, they say Manila. Muslim. We are a challenge. And in South Africa, this book is written. The Challenge of Islam in South Africa. There they found that we Muslims, we are there for 300 years, the first group of Muslims. That touched that those shores from Indonesia. You see, when the Dutch, the Hollands people, when they conquered Indonesia, those of our brethren who were fighting for their freedom, the heroes, the freedom fighters, they were captured as prisoners of war, and they were shipped to the Cape of Good Hope and sold to the white man as slaves. Then when the British conquered Malaysia, those people were fighting for their freedom. They were captured as prisoners of war and shipped to the Cape of Good Hope and sold to the white man as slaves. Good hope for the white man. It was good hope for the white man. And for 300 years, they have been hammered to Christianize. 300 years. After 300 years of hammering, the Muslims there, whom we call Malays, it's a wrong term, but we call them so-called Malays in inverted commas. These Malays are one of the most militant Muslim communities in the world. After 300 years of hammering, they became hard as steel. Amazing. The same period of time, when our African brethren from the West Coast were taken over to America, and they were 100% Christian. These Muslims, they fought back, and they became one of the most militant Muslim communities in the world. So, for 300 years they tried, and they have multiplied. The Muslims have multiplied. Beyond natural multiplication, beyond procreation, we multiply. And we are a challenge. They uproot us from one place to another. They uproot us from our settled homes, our Jummah Masjid. Take us away out into the wilderness, into the wilderness. And then we put up our own new habitation. 11 mosques in Chatsworth. 13 mosques in Lothian, in the Transvaal. You uproot us, where will you uproot us? We take down again our masjid. Taking down, so, right, you'll be here, inshallah. Until Yawm al-Qiyamah. We are a challenge. In a foreign environment, the government is in the favor, financially. They have everything, missionaries by the thousands, and they have not been able to work with us. We are a challenge. This is what the guy is telling us in the book. Same thing here. You are here about 100 years. You Muslims. You are numbering today, some say, about 2 million. In the UK, 2 million. And you are a challenge. You are a threat. You are an offense. Look at this masjid. In the heart of Britain. Look at this masjid. Look at this guy. Wherever you go, you're breaking it down. Masjid, buying churches, buying synagogues. Huh? You are a threat to them. And they're crying out. Yeah. This is the Christian publication. Islam comes to Britain. I showed it to our Dr. Muharram. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing his name. You know our director. I call him Muharram. You know, I don't know. I'm mispronouncing his name. Forgive me. So I showed him this. He said, this is our masjid. This is the minaret. This is our masjid. I said, yeah, but you didn't publish this. This is the Christian published. Islam comes to Britain. Why? He says, look, it's a threat and it's an opportunity. The Muslims are a threat and an opportunity. Yeah. England, the Muslims are coming. The Muslims are coming. In olden days, the Turk is coming, the terrible Turk. I don't know how many Turks we have here. The Turks. You might be Turks. So the terrible Turk. You know, the Turks are coming. They used to put the children to sleep. I said, the Turk is coming. So the children go to sleep. This is the terrible Turk. Now the Muslims are coming. But this time they are very happy. They are afraid as well as they are very happy. The missionaries are very happy. They have changed their headquarters. International teams. They were in Canada. They had the headquarters in Canada. From Canada, they made the center in Birmingham. Why Birmingham? It's the center of the UK. And they say, I must read you exactly what they say. It was making the mouth water. You know, when you see some nice food, your mouth water is making the mouth water. So our goal, our strategy, there's some Pakistanis sitting there, Muslims. He says, our strategy, our goal is to field an English people team to Birmingham to work amidst the 25,000 Bengali Muslims. Why Bengali Muslims? Because they are humble, poor people, illiterate people, maybe more so than the Pakistanis. With apologies, I don't mean anything, sir. You know, the conditions from which they come, overpopulated and misruled for centuries. They are coming from there, maybe a little poorer in education and in money than maybe the Pakistanis. See? Or the men from Hyderabad, Deccan. Better education. So Bengali is making his mouth water. He's mocking the Christian's mouth water. What an opportunity. Now they say, the Christian. They said, you see, we have 5 extra advantages against the Muslims. 5 advantages they have, which they didn't have before. Number 1. They said, you see, previously, we had to go out 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles away from home. You know, they are used to this life. They are used to their comfortable homes. From here, they have to go to a foreign land, away from a home base. Now, these people are coming. So we can work from a home base. We can sleep with the wife and children, and in the morning we can get started going and knocking people's doors. Or we can go to work till late at night, and we can sleep with our family. You are now working from a home base. Previously, 5,000 miles away from the home base. 10,000 miles away from the home base. See now? One advantage. Number 2. Said culturally, the people, where we went to in Africa, or Bangladesh, or Indonesia, culturally they were very, very backward. We have to sit on a grass mat on the floor, and the flies are buzzing around us, and the smoke is coming from that kitchen of yours, the chimney, smoke is coming, he's smarting his eyes is watering, his nose is watering. Now, culturally, you have sofa kursi, nice sofa, comfortable lounge suite you have, and you have a nice dining room table and the chairs all around it. Look, culturally, look, this guy is ready to receive us. You don't have to go anymore to Bangladesh and sit on the ground, or to Indonesia and sit on the ground. Comfort. These guys are already prepared for us, for our needs. This is sofa kursi. So, we have an advantage. Number 3. When we went out in the past to do our missionary work, linguistic, we have to learn the language of the native. You go to Bangladesh, you can speak English with them, they have to learn Bengali. You go to Pakistan, you must learn Urdu. You go to Indonesia, you must learn Indonesian. You go to Zululand, you must learn Zulu. Now, these people are speaking our language. You are making an effort to learn his language and speak as good as him or even better. You are learn his language. You've got to. If you want to survive here, you've got to learn his language. So linguistically, he doesn't have to go out of his way. Look at the advantages that he has now with you. Then, previously, if a man was converted in one of the religions, in India, Pakistan, anywhere, that man stands like a sore thumb. Everybody says, "Oh, that kafir, you better killing him, Habis, apostate, he's left Islam." You know what goes through your mind. You see that Muslim brother of God, who was your brother? And now he's a murtad, he's an apostate, he's a kafir. How do you feel? So everybody, as soon as a man is born, they say, you know how you feel, you're killing him. Now, he says that guy becomes a Christian. Yeah, 16 million so-called Christians. He can become one of us. No trouble, no worry. So now, you are not one in the minority. You know the minority, you become one with the majority. Number 5, says the governments of those countries, though they are doing nothing to stop the Christians, like in Pakistan. More Pakistanis have been converted into Christianity since independence than in the previous 100 years of British rule. More Bangladeshis have been converted into Christianity since independence than in the previous 100 years of British rule. But the people are not happy. The governments are not happy. Though they are not putting any obstructions in the way, they are not happy. Here, our government is happy. They come in and follow them, digest them. These are foreign elements, foreign way of behavior. Make them one of us, make them all big eaters, make them want to drink wine, do better business. Can you see that part? And these students are coming, brainwash them, convert them. So, perhaps it's not working. It's a challenge. It's an eternal challenge to the Christian. We are an eternal challenge. You are a provocation. The very fact that you are a Muslim is an insult. The very fact that you are a Muslim is an insult. You wear a topi, you are an insult. To them, maybe we also feel it that way. So we have to take it away. Put it in the pocket. Yeah, you are an insult to them. You are provoking them. Even with this. Previously we used to do it with the red dress, the Turkish dress. I used to wear that. Like a Turk. We had a brigade, called the Muslim Dance Brigade. Everybody wore the Turkish dress. We call it Turkish dress. The red topi with a casket. Yes. But now, even this humble thing, we are terrified of. We have lost our identity. We have lost. The Sikh, a handful of Sikhs compared to us in India. There are 15 million Sikhs. Those guys with the turban and the hair comes out and goes back into the turban. Look, we must take our hat to them. Wallah. They have an identity. They identify themselves. I'm a Sikh. He's proud of being a Sikh. We are ashamed of being a Muslim. Yeah. You don't have to wear anything provocative, but this humble thing, even this you are afraid of. You know what? Inferiority complex. You know what this came from? This is one of the most potent weapons. Yeah, this piece of cloth. Most potent weapon. In India, I'm telling my brother that if you wear this, 120 million Muslims, you just put on this. It boosts your morale. It boosts your morale. It's my fact, there are so many Muslims. It terrifies the enemy. So many Muslims. In India, in our country. It terrifies the guy out of his wits. And our Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he thought of this psychology. He said for Eid ka, go to out of town. Do it. Of course, here is difficult, but you can go to Hyde Park. Hyde Park. Or somewhere else. 10,000 people, 100,000 people. Go to Eidgah. Why Eidgah? You will take mensuality. What they will do? They will not make salah. No. The woman go, in any condition, she goes, the children goes with. Now the enemy is watching. What? So many Muslims? We didn't know. And the Muslims, we didn't know there are so many. Boost your morale and terrify the enemy. You terrify. That's the psychology of Eidgah. But no. We don't want to go out. You say, yeah, maybe people this year, there's doing monkey tricks, going up and down, we might as well, enclose it. Beautiful masjid, yes. But he said, go to Irka. What for? Psychology behind it. Even menstruating woman, you say. What for? There's a psychology behind it. It gives you power. You see your brother, so many. Terrify the enemy. In India, I went to my country. I was born in India. After 50 years, I returned to see. And there is a town from where I come from called Surat. Surat is above Bombay. It's a small port where Arab traders went to barter the dates for our Muslim cloth, our turmeric, our tamarind. And we came into contact with them and we became Muslim. My people are still. In Surat, when the British were ruling, anytime there was a trouble between Hindu and Muslim, we had Muslims who were Urdu speaking in Gujarat. They speak Gujarati like me, but also the home language is Urdu. They said there were old soldiers left to the Turks, when the Turks conquered the place. And now we are those remnants left over, so they speak Urdu. We speak Gujarati. He also speaks Gujarati, just as good as us. But his home language is Urdu. We call them Miyapais. No insult intended for anybody. This is how we call them and they recognize. We say Miyapai. We are Boras. We are the Sunni Boras. Boras, we are. So, these Miyapais, they were a military compared to my people. My people were farmers. Humble. These Miyapais, any fellow starts in no time. Serve the whole thing. Serve the whole thing. No problem for us being the villages around here. No problem. The Miyapai does the job. The Miyapai does the job. He was a military man. That's spiritual, that. More like the Pakistani. So I go after 50 years and I can't see a single Miyapai. Not one. What happened? No. Nobody. They don't want to be recognized. Why? Wait, you're terrified. For the Hindu, you don't want the Hindu to recognize you. Psychology is, he does the job. You do it for them, your mind is already gone down. Finished. You're terrified. Because you're not identifying yourself, you're terrified. If I identify, maybe they might start some trouble, or maybe they might not hire my taxi. Right. So he does the job. And the Hindus are telling two things you must do to these Muslims in India. Number one, dissuade them from using the Muslim names. That's very easy. Very easy. Dissuade you from using the Muslim name. You go for a job, what's your name? Muhammad Sadiq. You see now it's full up. Next, some other time, maybe if there's something I will write to you. Ahmed, Deedat-R.A. Deedat will pass. You see, this is a Hindu surname. We have Hindu surname. Originally, we were Hindus. You see, we retain the surname. Ahmed is Muslim. No chance. So I go, try one place, another place, another place. I'm not making a headway. So I said, no man, maybe it's the name. So I'm Deedat can pass. But Ahmed said, look man, do something with Ahmed. Maybe I can get the job. They said, dissuade you from using the Muslim name. Number two, dissuade them from wearing a head. They're telling you, dissuade the Muslim from putting on an identity. And you did it voluntarily. Voluntarily. They didn't say anything. You just did it. What they want you to do, you did it. So 120 million Muslims, no say, you are worthless, not worth tuppence in that country. A handful of Sikhs. Indira Gandhi was bending backwards for a peace done. And Rajiv Gandhi gave them everything they wanted except independence. We Muslims, we can't even cry in that country. You know that? We can't even say, why are you hitting us? An average of 2 riots a day are taking place against our people in our own motherland, and you can't even cry. Why? You lost your identity. Who made you to lose it? You did it yourself. No, these are little. I'm not telling you to put on a turban or put on a red face and provoke people, like the red rat to the bull. We don't want you to do that. But something humble. Sikh has got an identity. That identity gives him power. He is like a lion. We like sheep and goats. Emasculated animals ready for slaughter. If I'm wrong, at question time you can question me, and you can take me to task. Even afterwards, look, uncle, I think these are all fibs, false stories you're talking about. I said, look, this is what I think. This is the reason. If you have a head here, you see a man in the streets, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I have been traveling, this is the 7th trip of mine to the UK. I have been traveling in the underground often. And I see a man across me. I can't start a conversation. You guys have asked him, where you come from? You people will say, is that your business? Do I owe you something? But if you have something on, say, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. Say, where you come from, Ahi? Say, I come from Morocco. No, mashallah. You are from Africa? I'm also from Africa. I'm from South Africa, you come from North Africa. Mashallah. You from Libya? No, mashallah. Here you come from. Immediately you can actually, once you are a Muslim, it's an open society. Assalamu alaikum, his heart will come open. Where you going, brother? I'm doing so. And I'm looking for accommodation. I'm looking for a house. I know somebody who lives in the store. Come, I'll take you and show you. I want to go to the masjid. So if I see somebody in the head, say, excuse me, Assalamu alaikum, masjid. He says, come. I'll take you. Otherwise, I don't know who to talk to. Identity. Oh, that's one point. So we are an offense to the Christian. We do everything. Allah says so. So either we give in, subdue, join them. If you want peace, join them. Or you change. And this is our destiny. When Allah says, given you a Deen, that is the master who can supersede them all, bulldoze them all, not with the gun, even if you had it. Even if you had a laser gun, you have no right to force Islam down anybody's throats. Allah says, like Deen, there is no compulsion in marriage. It's worth, if you have the power and you force people to accept Deen, it is not worth anything. It must be a voluntary acceptance. Become your brother. So, intellectually, Allah has given to us. There is not a system that you can't deal with on that level. Intellectually. The Christians, they have now started new systems, new techniques. When I was here at the Islamic Cultural Center the last time, I spoke on the subject man and God relationship. How many of you were here? Please put up your hand. I have an idea. Not me. So, whatever I might have said, it bears repetition. If the 50% of you put up your hand, I says no. It's not fair to start pushing the same thing down, repeating it, but I think it bears repetition. You see, how I got started with this. People are asking me, how did you get there? What do you know? How do you know all these things? So I didn't go to any university, to any Darul Uloom. No. They asked me where. I don't know. When I went to Malaysia, at one of these training colleges, they asked me to go deliver a talk. So the chairman, who was to be the chairman, is asking me. He wants to introduce me. He said, which university you went to? So I said, I went to the University of Hard Knocks. He said, where? I said, it's all over the world. Now, he still didn't catch a joke. He's not used to that type of language, VIP call. So he's introducing me, said, Mr. Deedat went to the University of Hard Knocks in Durban. So the hard knocks were hard knocks. You see, after leaving school, I started working in a country shop away from the city. And this was a Muslim shop, and across the valley from where the shop was, there was an American-born mission. And they were training missionaries. Yeah, in South Africa, in Natal, outside Durban, training missionaries. And these missionaries, whatever they learned, they came to experiment on us in the shop. He said, Muhammad has so many wives. I said, I know nothing about that. No exaggeration. I knew nothing about that. He said, Islam was spread at the point of the sword. When Muhammad forces religion down people's throats. So if you don't accept Islam, chop off your head. I knew nothing about that. He said, the Quran was copied. Muhammad copied the Quran from the Jews and the Christians. I know nothing about that. This is the only thing I knew about Islam was that I did the kalima. I'm a Muslim. And if I met any of you then, And you say you're a Muslim? You said, yes. I said, read the kalima, the shahada. Read it. You said, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I said, you pass. That's my test. It's like a magic formula. If you can say that you're a Muslim, if you can't say that you're not a Muslim. That's the only thing I knew. I knew how to make salat. The way my father made wudu, I did it. The way he made salat, I did it. The way he fasted, I fasted. That's what Islam I knew. I knew nothing more. These guys are telling me, using the Prophet, using Islam. All the other staff, they're all school boys, all cheap labor, they just left school, everybody, me and all the others. And we are utterly helpless before this Christian mission. So either leave the job and run away, or you fight back. But you can't fight back if you have no knowledge. You need weapons. No weapons, no knowledge. And jobs are hard to get. You can't go and start looking for another job. You can't. Very difficult those days. So Allah is Musabbib al-Asbab. He is the creator of opportunity. If He wants to help you, He opens up doors. As His promises. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. So whosoever strives in our way, we open up doors. Pathways for them. Open up. So I had a hunger for reading. Read. I had that. Bulk of the Muslims, we haven't got it. We are an Iqra community. The very first word of the revelation Allah gave over Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was Iqra, read. We are all a Iqra community, people who don't read. We don't read. But somehow I had this. And I couldn't afford to buy books. So I was reading newspapers. Old newspapers. When I read it is new to me. Whatever I read is new to me. The 6 months old, year old, if I read it is new to me. Everything is new. I read. So one Sunday, we don't work on Sunday. So I go to the boss's warehouse and they ask me a pile of old newspapers, and in the newspaper I'm rummaging for some better material to read the newspaper. Like a magazine. We have magazines like the Outspan, Farmers Weekly, Personality. So anything like that is preferable to the old newspaper. I'm rummaging through. And while I'm rummaging through newspapers, I come across a worm-eaten book. Reddish in color, full of mildew. I pick it up and I start to sneeze. I'm not sneezing now. I started to sneeze and I look at the book. It says, Izharul Haq. I-Z-H-A-R-U-L-H-A-Q. Izharul Haq. It's written in Latin, so it's English. Izharul Haq. Izharul Haq. Sounds like a Muslim. What is this? I don't know, but it sounds like Muslim. In the book is written in I-Z-H-A-R-U-L, but it sounds like Muslim. So I see at the bottom in small letters it says, the truth revealed. I said, maybe it's how it means, the truth revealed. So let's have a look. On the book, start reading. It was about the British conquest of India. When the British people conquered my country, they felt that at any time, anybody will give them trouble, it will be the Muslims. Because power, rule, dominion was wrenched out of the hand, and once you have tasted power, you aspire to get it back once more. It's human nature. You tasted power, you want power once more again. And the Muslims were a militant people. From the Hindu quarters, there is no fear, because they were as docile as the cows that they were worshipping. Allah is very dry. Not now, they changed now. But they were as docile as the cows that they were worshipping. So they felt that if they can go with the Muslims, they can rule India for 1,000 years. Just change the people. Teach them to turn the other cheek. What Jesus said, that you strike in the right cheek, give the other. Teach this fellow to do that. And you can rule India for 1,000 years. So they started pouring in the missionaries like frogs in the rainy season into India. And they started challenging the Muslims to public debates. At first, the Muslims were reluctant for 2 reasons. Number one, the British have conquered. If you speak something and fight that too strongly, they might send us to Kalapani, Andaman Islands. Like in South Africa, they send to Robert Islands. So they might send you away somewhere to Kalapani, in the Bay of Bengal, this Kalapani, Andaman Islands. They fought in all kinds of dangerous characters there. So now they might send us away there to this thing to keep out of the way. Number two, he says, the guy challenging us in English and we can't speak English. Good excuse. Our Allah said we can't speak his language. How can we debate with them? So they mastered our language. The missionary. And this is the genius of the Western. Wherever he goes, he learns the language of the native. Wherever he goes to Indonesia, he learns Indonesian. He comes to Zululand, he learns Zulu. He goes to Basutoland, he learns Basutu. He goes to Swaziland, he learns Swazi. Wherever he goes, he masters your language. He goes to the Arab countries, he learns your masters your language. So he masters the language. And he challenged Muslims in Delhi to public debate. Now, what extreme? So Maulana Abdullah says of Delhi, he accepted the challenge. The young men stampeded him. So come on, now you have to talk in our language. How can you say no? So he accepted. And according to the appointed time and date, the debate starts. And I'm told in the book that 100,000 people gathered. In India it happened. And there was no mic system. I don't know how voice traveled those days. But you get to chat this pleasure. You see your view that, this is a little tiny thing, Somebody passes the way, he gave a good blow. You Mara was good, mashallah. Maybe he creates his own story, you see, but what's going on there? His commentary on what's going on there. So, according to the appointed time and date, the debate starts. And Reverend Founder was the guy from Britain, from your country. He speaks in Urdu. Maulana Sahib, get the debate started. Get started. So the Maulana says, look, you are our elder brother. Christianity precedes Islam by 600 years. As such, you are our elder brother. And according to our culture, you have the first preference. Number two, he said, you are our guest. No doubt an unwelcome guest. But the guest at that. And according to our culture, Hamara Mizwan, first reference goes to our guest. So as such, you give the thing more start. Start the talk. So the Reverend begins in Urdu. He says, Maulana Sahib, where is your Prophet Muhammad now? Now, this minute, where is he? So the Maulana thinks for a moment and he says, he is in Jannatul Firdaus, in heavenly bliss with Allah Barikat. Out of that answer came the second question. That's all right, all right. Tell us now. Where was he when his grandson Hussein was martyred at Karbala? Where was he then? So the Maulana again thought for a moment and he said he was still in Jannatul Firdaus with heavenly bliss with Allah Barikat. Out of that answer came the third question. He said, all right. If he was with his Allah, as you say, when his grandson Hussein was martyred at Karbala, didn't he ask his Allah for help? Say, Allah, look at my grandson, they're butchering him, please help him out. Didn't he ask his Allah for help? And there was a long pause. So the Reverend started making his speech. Come on. Didn't he ask his Allah for help? If you have a big brother, somebody bullying you, have a big happy brother there. I said, look at this guy, he's taking unfair advantage of me, please. Come to the rescue. Why should I? So, Allah Bari Ta'ala is there, Prophet is there, when he asks Allah, what's happening there? Karbala, please. Didn't he? Can he speak? So the Maulana said he did ask Allah for help. It's a natural thing to do. He said, what did he say? What did Allah say? Because he wasn't saying all this is going on in Urdu. What did he say? And there was an inaudible pause, a very long pause. And the man couldn't hold his feet, started standing his feet. Come on, what did he say? And everybody heard. The Maulana in Marathi. He got his speech. The Maulana got his book up. So the Maulana starts. He said, Allah cried. Allah is Rodia. So, Allah cried. He said, Allah cried. So I couldn't save my own sympathy. How can I save your grandson? And the debate was over. You see, it has nothing to do with truth or falsehood. Nothing. It is matching of the wits. It's a wit. There is a saying that twice armed is he who whose cause is just. If your cause is just, you give it double spirit. You can stand for it. You're going to fight it. You're going to prepare to die for it. But Christ only is he who gets it first. The God will not give you the first blow. Now much you are on the right. Useless. So, alhamdulillah, knock him out. I'm reading this in the book, which makes the book interesting for me. Then I read about an Arab Sheikh. An Arab Sheikh. A little ruler, something like a little Emirat. These are the rulers. And a Christian missionary got stuck in Pradesh. And they have a perseverance. We have an eye of mine. They'll never let you go. If you give me a finger, they'll catch you by the hand. They'll never let you go. If you call him in, allow him to speak to you, give him tea and samosas and bhajiyas, they'll never let you go. Until one day he said, hey, keep out of my door. I'll put a knife to you. Or you get put either way. Otherwise, there's no way of keeping him out. They have perseverance. We have a point. We have an argument and we beat the fellow. And just said, I beat the fellow. Why don't you persuade? Find out where he lives. Why don't you invite him home? No, I beat the fellow and knock him out. That's our mentality. That guy, if there's a little crack in you, no hope, no chance for you until you are converted. So, this Christian missionary is making hell for this poor Sheikh. Christ had his sins. God Almighty, he came down to earth. He had such compassion and feeling for mankind. You can't make the grave. So God himself must come to earth and he must die as a man to redeem you of your sins. That God Almighty, he died for you. He died for you. This is the only thing he can give you. Understanding the problem. Really, you don't have to pray 5 times a day. Winter and summer, fasting full month, winter and summer, killing yourself, going to a desert land. For Hajj, you don't have to do all that. Straight jacket in your life. No, you just believe that Christ died for your sins and salvation is yours. If it was true, I said all of us that joined. What a fantastic way. You don't have to do all this. What we are going through. So, Christ died for you. God Almighty, he gave his life. His son is himself coming down to earth in the form of a son and he died for your sins. There is no way out for the poor Sheikh. No way out. He is not equipped. He is not arguing debate. But this guy pushing in, day in and day out, every day, to rescue himself. He had a brain. So he tells his secretary, his prime minister, he said, look, next time this guy comes along, whisper something in my ears. Just whisper in my ears. So the guy came this morning, and this secretary, as he was told, and the Sheikh started to cry, like a woman. His mother had died. Oh my God! So the priest wants to know what happened, the missionary wants to know what happened. No. And his mother had died. Come, please. I can sympathize with you. You can't. What has happened? He said, this is the sad news. That Jibreel Salam died. Gabriel, he died. Archangel Gabriel died. So the priest said, sinner angels will die. So he said, you fool, you telling me that God died? Now I'm reading this in the book. You see, I'm reading all this in the book. So I'm sitting there in the godown, in the warehouse, on the floor, in the dust. And I'm reading this, I can't let go. I'm reading about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, about this contradicts that contradicts that. So, when I had a chance, I go to Durban, I go to a second bookshop, and I find the New Testament. I bought for 6 pence. 6 pence. 6 pence. I think 6 pence. It was a small piece. We had a smaller piece called Tiki. 3 pence piece. In silver. Look like silver. And a little bigger, 6 pence. So I bought a 6 penny New Testament. That's the start. So I go back to this country place. I say, Matthew, I look for Matthew. Mark. This one contradicts Mark, so and so. I find that. I mark it at this page. You'll find the contradiction there. This one is Luke, contradicting John. Then it says, I bid, so and so. I bid. So I look for I bid in the Bible. And I don't, I bid means do the same. If it's Matthew, then it's I bid means sending in Matthew. But I don't know what it means. I bid. So I look for I bid in the Bible. I can't find I bid. So no. So now, I'm getting on. I know something about the Bible. I have marked it. So now when they come to do the buying, I say, where are you going on Sunday after church? Then I say, no. So where do you live? Right. I'll come and see you. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. Right? So I go. I say, now look, 1 point you give me in the favor of your religion, I give you 10 against it. You give me 1 row, I give you 10. That's the only language I know. See, I'm a school boy, just a school. You give me 1 row, I give you 10. When I got killed now. Not with the fists, with the intellect. And every Sunday is a new conquest. It's so pleasant. It's so pleasurable. I tell you, Allah, you know, I did boxing. And I know when you get the guy, when he goes, he gives you some ecstatic feeling. I did wrestling, I did judo, I did weightlifting. Can you see where I'm standing now? I tell people jokingly, don't make a mistake, don't try. Don't try. Think you're an old man, 68-year-old, you take a chance, don't take a chance. So, you get that pleasure, holding the over, knocking him over. Oh, how tasty it is. Then I go to Durban, I say, right, I look for bigger market. See, every Saturday afternoon we close at 1. I have my lunch and look for a church. Go to church, yes. I knock at the door, look for the padri, the priest. The father, you know, I'm very interested in religion. I would like you to come home and, you know, enjoy my meals. You know, bring your family along. And I want to share, exchange the word of God with you. I persuade people. You know, it's a pleasure. Get the guy to the house. And my wife will cook. You know, we say jarda. You know, sweet rice. And soji, or biryani. And they enjoy my food. And they say they enjoy my pork. I give them a good bash. Nobody ever comes back. Nobody ever comes back. They say they enjoy the food, they enjoy everything, but nobody ever comes back. For a second dinner, nobody. That's my hobby. And Allah says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنَ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Who is better in speech than he who invites people to Allah's place? وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. He is a doer of good deeds. وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And he says, I'm of Muslims who have submitted and will do the will of Allah. He is asking who is better than in speech than he who does this. In other words, there is nobody better in speech. The best speech making that you can do is to invite people to Allah's place. The best hobby, the best preoccupation. The best occupation. This. My hobby has become my occupation. I can't imagine anybody having a better job than what I have. Allah, there isn't. My hobby is my occupation. It's a hobby. This is an occupation. So I started knocking people out here, there, everywhere. And the pleasure it gave me that now it brings me to the Royal Albert Hall. Once, twice in 5 months. Now the guy's challenging me again. I said, look, Royal Albert Hall is too small. We'll have to go to Wembley Stadium or we go to Birmingham. This is the hobby. This is the primary occupation of the Muslim. Every Muslim. You earn your living by all means. Whatever job you do, whether you sweep, clean the toilet, there's no shame in doing any work. Any honest labor, no shame. Right. Every Muslim must have a second occupation. And that is sharing Allah's deen with people. Udu ila sabilillah. So invite all to the ways of thy Lord with mission. وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ and with beautiful preaching. وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّذِي أَحْسَنَ and reason with them. Ways that are best for good. And I said, how to do the job. And my brother and my sister, I said, there is a very easy. Our neighbor, our employers, our co-workers, invite them home for a cup of tea, and your puchas and samosas, and your jalebis. You know jalebi? You know this round thing with the juice inside, sweet meat. Ooh. You know, I gave one to an African lady, she came, you know, I took her home and I gave her tea and jalebi. And she said, jalebi, you know, this round thing. And she ate that. She's asking, how do you look at the juice inside? She wanted to know how the juice went inside the jalebi. Now they're interested, they want to know. Outside, lovely food. Our bhajias, our samosas, I tell you, we can knock people over. You don't have to be very clever. Your dal and rice is good people. Dal and rice. You said ridiculous. You said ridiculous. I said, no. Professor Germanus, professor of philosophy, he was converted by eating our dal and rice. Professor Germanus and Iqbal, Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, were studying philosophy in Germany together. Before Pakistan came to Deen, this guy, around the 40s, Professor Germanus visits India, the subcontinent. And he goes to Lahore, goes to meet his old friend Iqbal. It was a Friday. Bad al-Jum'ah. He reaches Iqbal's house. Finding out where he is, he reaches the home. And Iqbal and his friends had just seated on the ground with that little sheet, and they were eating dal and rice with some chutney, chataka, some kachumar, salad and things like that. He sat down to eat. And he sees his friend there at the doorway. Come, man, come. He said, no, I had it. Come on, man. He said, come to me. That's Muslim hospitality. You said you had it, and our man, come and sit down. But I know, I'm here. You people in Britain, you have changed. That hospitality has gone out of you. You have become like the Englishman. See, the Englishman says, why did you phone me before coming? You say, my people are very hospitable. In South Africa, they're Muslim. But the same fellow, when he comes here, you see, we have a saying in my language, that when you tie a horse to the donkey, the horse can't pray like a donkey, but it lifts up his head. Yes. घोड़े को गधे के साथ बांधता है, तो घोड़ा ऊंची ऊंची नहीं कर सकता, मगर सर ऊंचा करता है. And my people, my own people, I'm coming in, finding out that they also become like these donkeys that you are tied to. You also behave like that. You want to know why did you phone me? What? He said, come. Whatever it is, they come and sit down and eat. So he said, come. He wanted, come, join us. So he sits down to eat. And he's eating what? Dal and rice. Of course, the dal was converted. Meat inside. See, it's a banya food, my nation. When we are banyas, we're eating dal and rice. Without meat. Now, you put meat inside and make it Muslim. You're putting meat inside. So, these are made Muslim dal and rice. Can you write these? So tasty to Allah. Our food is so tasty. It's so exotic. In my country, the African hogs it. The white man hogs it. There's no people there in the country when we give our food that he can exist. He eats and eats like a hog. So this guy, Professor Germanus, is eating, tasting the chutney and so what is this? He said, this is dal and rice, our staple food. So what? A nation that can change this simple staple thing like dal and rice into such an exotic food, what kind of a wonderful religion you must have? To accept that religion. That dal and rice from what the man. Sounds so silly. Foolish. You did it. People see our cans in the toilet and they get promoted. Do you know that? Can in the toilet. My secretary, from our office, we can see the Juma Masjid there. We can see the passage. People coming in. And he sees somebody around lunchtime, somebody peeping into the masjid, through the window. So he was going home for lunch, so he goes and walks up to the fellow and says, look, you want to do anything? He said, yeah, I'll let you know a little bit about Islam. He said, look, I'm going for lunch. If you like, you can join me. And while we are at the lunch table, I can tell you. He said, all right, come. Takes him home. When he goes home, he said, excuse me, I'm going to go to the toilet. My secretary says. So he goes to the toilet, he comes out. So the other man said, Englishman, Hogan, Mr. Hogan, Englishman. He said, look, I also want to go to the toilet. No. He goes to the toilet, he comes out. He said, what do you do with the can inside the toilet? What do you do with the can? So he explained. And when you go for number one, we wash. Go for number two, we wash. What? He said, yes. You know that's what good is the fellow. Hygiene! The topmost hygiene in the world. Another guy we converted, Reverend James Cunningham, we call him Deen. His parents are still Roman Catholics, very staunch. And they always harass him. But he's very patient young man. Deen Cunningham. There was a Lord Cunningham. He's Deen Cunningham, Englishman. So he also takes the can into the toilet. So the father is asking him, James, what are you doing with the can in the toilet? So he explains. Again, after a few days, he's getting impatient. James, what are you doing with the toilet? Can in the toilet? So he said, Daddy, look, you wasted 100 gallons to wash the can. With Harpic, this disinfectant, to wash the can, make it clean, stick and stand. But he says, Daddy, you don't use 1 drop of water for yourself. On yourself, not 1 drop of water. The pan, yes, you wash, but not yourself, not 1 drop for yourself. He goes and tells his wife. His father goes and tells his wife. He says, you know, what Jane says is true, but I won't admit it. Wallah, it is so easy. Allah, all the home, I say, all the home for a cup of tea. What your pleasures and samosas can do, you don't do. It's half the battle. There is no better way to get into the heart of a person than through his stomach. Look, this is the example of our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. His sunnah. Nobody talks about it. I haven't heard a single learned man talking about the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That when he was commanded to preach, he called the leaders of the Quraysh, invited them for dinner. And after dinner, he stood up to deliver the message. Among the leaders was Abu Jahl. And Abu Jahl means father of ignorance. He was no father of ignorance. He was the shrewdest of the Arabs. He was about one of the very few fellows among the Arabs in the time of our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who could read and write. He was a rare fellow. His real title was Abu Hikmah, the father of wisdom. He is the father of wisdom. But our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that with all his knowledge, if he can't see the light of truth, he is not Abu Hikmah, he is Abu Jahl. Therefore, because his knowledge is not making him see the truth, so he is Abu Jahl, he is the father of ignorance. So that title was stuck onto him, that nickname. He was not Abu Jahl. He was Abu Hikmah, father of wisdom. Clever fellow, shrewd fellow. So he stood up. He said, you're going to listen to this youngster for this mess of pottage he gave you. Come here. Shh. He scattered them all. He scattered them all. Just like that. One devil can do this. He can take the whole thing on the rail. What does our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? He invites the leaders of the Quraysh. One more for dinner minus Abu Jahl. Nobody talks about that sunnah. Nobody. He's telling you about the beauty of sunnah. I believe. I believe all the sunnah. But nobody talks about this sunnah. Why? You know why? Because it costs you something. That sunnah costs you something. The other sunnah costs you nothing. For me to tell you what will you give a year, what does it cost you? I say you must pray 5 times a day. What does it cost you? Nothing. So I have to tell you, लोगों को खाना खिलाओ, feed people, call them home, feed them there. It's going to cost you something. I'm going to set an example and it will cost you something. So question, don't talk about it. You do that. You follow the sunnah of our Nabi. The first sunnah of this propagation he did. Follow that sunnah. All of them. Feed them. Talk to them. He said, have you seen the Quran? Get a translation. Like this by Abdullah Yusuf. I don't know if it's available tonight or not. They're supposed to be available. This Quran by Abdullah Yusuf. You know, almost 2,000 pages. 1,900 pages to be exact. Pages. For 6 pounds. 6 pounds. There is not another book in the UK. You can buy 2,000 pages for 6 pounds. A 200-page book I can buy for 19 pounds. 200. 19 pounds. Yeah. This is 2,000 pages for 6 pounds. Now, you owe it to yourself. I will make no commission. I promise you. No commission. You buy from anyone. Whoever has got it, you buy it. This book, what it can do for you and your children. This book, this translation is the only translation which gives you a verse-by-verse translation. It begins, for example, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Just opposite that. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So all praise is due to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the world. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Most gracious, most merciful. Verse-by-verse translation. So over a period, you can almost learn Arabic. That's how I am. When I'm talking, I seem to understand what I'm talking. Though I don't know Arabic. Simply because I've been using this translation. Again and again. So that constant repetition makes me to feel that as if I know. And I feel that I seem to know through that system. Number 2, he gives you a commentary. So beautiful. Allah is so beautiful. And his language is so good. As it is an inspiration in itself, the language. The Westerner, you show him this, he can't believe that an Oriental could have written that. As it is a new revelation, it is the English I'm talking about. You don't have to read Shakespeare or Milton to improve your English even. Then it has a very comprehensive index at the back. What do you want to know? Anything, everything. You know about the Jew, Bani Israel, and the Israeli, Bani Israel. You want to know about the Christian, you want to know about Jesus, you want to know about marriage, you want to know about divorce. What do you want to know? Whatever you want to know on your fingertips. You want to know about marriage and the end. You want to know about divorce and the field. Everything on your fingertips. I said, you wait for yourself. And your children, your children need more than anything. If you, my elders, if you understand Urdu better than any other language, I say get an Urdu translation. You understand Gujarati better than any other language, I say get a Gujarati translation. You understand Bangladeshi better than other languages, I say get a Bengali translation. But in your home, in this country, if you want to live here, and if you want your children to live here, it is imperative that you get an English translation. Imperative. Because without this language, you will not be able to present what is impossible. You might know Arabic, you Arab also, you might know Arabic, you understand. Directly you imbibe the message. Still not good enough. Still not good enough. If you want to be in this environment, if you want to share this message, you tell, you are also doing the same. If you want to live in this country, you want to talk to the people, you've got to get an English translation. Improve your English. By talking constantly, improve your English. And you're using the right word, the appropriate words to convey the message. In your own mind, you know you understood, but now when you're going to start explaining to somebody, you can make a hash of it. You can murder the whole idea. So, get this. Use it on your neighbors, your fellow workers. Open it, give them tea and cakes. Kashas and samosas. Open the book. It says, you know what my book says about Jesus? Open the book. Start reading to him. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. From Surah Al-Imran, that's chapter number 3, verse number 42. قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ. Behold, the angel said, "Oh Mary." You will say, you understand, you know what I mean. This is when you see the angel was telling Mary, that's how you would know. So no. Behold, the angel said, "Oh Mary, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اسْتَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاسْتَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ." God Almighty has chosen thee and purified thee, chosen thee above the women of all nations. So obey thee, worship thy Lord without thee, prostrate thyself and bow down and pray with those who bow down. And you see the language. You're learning vocabulary, you're learning construction of sentences, and you're using the most appropriate words for conveying the message. On your own you understand, well, I know, you don't need, between you and Allah there's no problem. But when you want to share, you need exact terminology. Right words. In the right place. And not, well, you see, the man is thinking that the Quran is doing Then it is you who are doing Don't bring this to upon the book. Read it. Use the exact language of the Quran. The way the man has taken 40 years of his life to do this job. Use it. With these words, Mr. Chairman and my dear brother, I am very, very grateful for the young men for creating this opportunity for me to come and share these few thoughts with you. May Allah reward them and reward you. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Brother Ahmed, we can go on forever time. We really appreciate the time you spent with us. But for the next 50 minutes or so, we'd like to invite questions from both brothers and sisters. There's a microphone upstairs in the sister section, and there's one on my left here for the brothers. If you queue up behind the microphone, we'll have alternate questions between the brothers and sisters. So if whoever wants questions, please take advantage of this opportunity.
Great pleasure to listen to you, really, today and the Albert Hall. I would like to ask a question which always I thought of. Is there any Christians in the world today who believe in Allah alone?
The question is, you have heard, whether there are any Christians in the world who believe in Allah alone. Yes, there are. See, there is a group of people in Britain also, you call them Unitarians. They believe in the oneness of Allah. But while they believe in the oneness of Allah, they think it is in the Bible, and which is so. The Bible doesn't teach Trinity. It doesn't. It doesn't teach the multiplicity of God. It doesn't. So they read the Bible and say, look, the unity is there, and it is there. It is in the Bible. So they feel they are still Christian. They believe in one Allah, but they still think that they are Christians. And there is no need for them to become Muslim. So our problem is that these people have come so close to us. See? They reject Trinity. There's another group of people called themselves Jehovah's Witnesses. They say that God is one. God is not a triune God. Now, there's a secret. As soon as a person accepts what you say, we must congratulate the man. Now, that is where you lead from agreement. As soon as the man says he believes in Allah, he says he doesn't believe in Trinity. He doesn't believe in that Jesus is God. It's a congratulation. Look, our main problem is over with that person. The biggest stumbling block is the divinity of Christ, that Jesus is God, or the Trinity, 3 in 1. As soon as the man renounces that, he's coming closer to you, accept him with open arms. And this is the secret Allah is giving us in the Quran. Qul, tell them, Ya Ahlul Kitab, you people of the book, ta'alaw come, ila kalimatin sawa'in baynana wa baynakum. That we come to common terms, that's between us and you. Let us get on a common platform. Allah is telling us, get the Jews and the Christians, bring them, call them, that applies to anybody, everybody. Get on to anybody, everybody onto a common platform, a common agreement on anything. And in this case, this is number one, Allah na'budu illallah, that we worship none but Allah. Yes, he believes in Allah. So now it's a concept. In his concept he might be mixed up. He believes in one God, but who is that one God? Some of them might say that is Jesus Christ. The Hindu says it's Rama. Someone says everybody says there is one God. Nobody says there are 3 gods. Even the Trinitarian, this is 3 in 1. So once you find common ground, here's an opportunity to get started. The man says, I don't believe in God. You know he's a very good customer. Did you know that? He's the best customer we have are the atheists. He's the best customer. He's taken the first step in the direction of Islam. He is nearer to you than the Jew, and the Christian, and the Hindu, the atheist. We say kafir, the one who says, I don't believe in God, among the Western. I'm not talking about the mushriks of Makkah. I'm talking about the modern day atheist. The atheist means one who says there is no God. That person is taken the first step in the direction of Islam. If you recognize it. But we don't. We're going to fight. We're going to go to hell. I said, congratulations. It's amazing. This guy did that. You must say, what is wrong? You congratulating a kafir? I said, yes. So why? Look at him. I said, you know, congratulations. He's shocked. He shocked himself. When I congratulated him, he expected to fight. And I don't fight. I said, congratulations. You know why? I said, if you said you were a Muslim, no congratulations. You know why? Because your father was a Muslim, your mother was a Muslim. You are a Muslim, so what did you do? You were born in it. Did you deserve anything? Congratulations for that? No. You say you're a Christian. No congratulations. Your father was a Christian, your mother was a Christian. Right? This is right. So what did you do? Nothing. You were born in it. But if you say you are an atheist, congratulations. He said, why? I said, you have been thinking. What made you say there is no God? You are thinking. What are you thinking? You think from your background, your own experience. And your own experience was that in your book, you were given a concept of God which was anthropomorphic, meaning thinking of God after your own pattern, that God is like a man. That's how you read the Bible. See, the Christian Bible, the first book of Genesis, it starts about the creation of Adam and Eve. We also have that story, but listen to this, I'm giving the Christian. That Allah Ta'ala creates Adam and Eve, and He puts them in the garden. He says, in the garden, eat anything, everything of the fruits in the garden, except the tree in the midst of the garden. That tree thou shalt not eat, the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Finish. And shaitan made him facing that, and they act. And when they act, this was supposed to be the tree of knowledge according to the Bible. So the knowledge came to them that they were naked. Prior to that, they were living in felicity, innocent. They didn't know that they were naked. Now they know that they're naked. So they started plucking leaves to cover themselves. And Adam heard the footsteps of God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. Boom, boom, boom. You know, the mighty King Kong. Boom, boom, boom. So he heard the footsteps of God walking in the garden. That's what the Bible says. Now, while I'm talking, you can visualize the scene. Monkey, giant, millions and millions of times bigger than man. The earth must have shook. Boom, boom, boom. So Adam heard the footsteps and he hid himself in the bushes. He hid himself in the bushes. God comes and stands where Adam was a few seconds before. And he says, Adam, Adam, where art thou? Look, this poor God didn't know where Adam was. So Adam peeked through the bushes. He said, I'm here. So look, if you behave like that, you have been up to mischief. Why would you behave like that? You must have done something wrong. So you know what he says? He says, the woman that thou gavest to me, she made me to eat. You know, in other words, blaming Allah. If you didn't give me the woman, I would be in trouble. You are at fault. You shouldn't have given me the woman. The cow. Our part. This is the woman that thou gavest to me, she made me to eat. And your woman, he says, no, it's a serpent that beguiled me, passing the buck, the oldest game in the world, passing the responsibility to somebody else. Do you believe in a God like that? Do you? No. Same book, first book, Genesis. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he said, oh God, oh Lord, I want to see you. In the Quran, same request. Allah says, Lam tarani, you can never see me. He is insisting in the Bible, saying, I must see you, I love you. And sometimes will not include them, you know. They also want something that is not good for them. They do the same thing, so he's doing the same thing with Allah. He says, Lord, I love you so much, I must see you. So all right, I'll do you a favor. So he says, I'll put you between two rocks. He puts him between two rocks. He puts his hand in the open. That Musa alayhi salam can't see. Then he turns his back. He takes away his hand, and Moses saw the back of God. So he's got a backside. He's God. He's going to have a front side. It's too horrible for Musa to see. He could have fainted. So if God has got a backside and a front side, he's got a top side and a bottom side. If there is such a God, then you have a right to demand what you need to see him. A God with a top side and a bottom side, he must be located somewhere. So Gagarin, the Russian astronaut, when he went out into outer space and when he returned after so many spins, newspapers of the world carried banner headlines in inverted commas. Where is your God? Where are your angels? Question mark. Gagarin. So I meet a Christian missionary. So look at this. This guy is asking wanting to see God and wanting to see angels. So he says, he's a fool. I said, no, he's not a fool, you are a fool. It is the concept you gave him that God told Father Christmas, sitting on some planet, with his feet dangling on the earth with his footstool, the heaven is his canopy, the loving Father in heaven, millions and millions of times bigger than man, or something like a man. It is a concept you gave him. Do you believe in a God like that? No. So no. This is it. You don't believe, so he doesn't believe. He doesn't believe in a God like that. So he has taken the first step. He says, La ilaha, there is no God. First step, you have to say, what? La, why la? Yes. You begin with La ilaha, no ilaha, there is no object of worship, there is no God. This God, monkey God, this is no. This elephant God, this is no. This woman God, this is no. This Jesus God, this is no. The God that Moses or Adam saw in the garden, this is no. The one that Moses saw his backside, this is no. So, he's taken the first step. Making to say, love God. That's all. He said, La ilaha, shouldn't you congratulate him? No. We have to learn with the Jew, with the Christian, with the Hindu, atheist, and not anybody, everybody. This is a secret. Try and find common ground from where to start. And there is. If you put on your thinking that there isn't a person with whom you can't get started on that level. Whatever he says, try and find a common ground. And get off from it. Get off from it. Sorry, my brother has been giving you.
This question comes from a sister who wrote it.
Really? Nothing.
I can't read it. It's Al-Huda.
No. Urdu quick. पढ़ेगा नहीं?
It's in Arabic.
Arabic.
سؤال يقول هل المسيحيين الذين هم الآن هم من يحل لنا أكل طعامهم وأن يأكلون طعامنا وأن يأكلوا طعامنا كما جاء في القرآن الكريم? She is asking if this Christianity who are living nowadays, or those people who they allow to eat our food and we allow to eat their food as revealed in Quran.
My dear sister who wrote this, you see, my strength is my weakness. My strength is that I am an expert in comparative religion. And I told you how I became an expert. This is my field. This is the matter of Sharia, the law of Islam. Sharia, you ask the alim. If he doesn't know, replace it, get another one. This is not my field, please. Don't embarrass me, because I'm going to make statements here now, and then you put me in a compromising position. You watch, I'm talking about comparative things with authority. I said I'm an expert, and I am an expert. If you have any problem in that field, come to me, it makes me happy. Because when I'm explaining to this, I'm feeling that I'm shining before you all. This guy I start answering, I start apologizing before you. Make you feel very small. Don't belittle me. Ask the Sheikh and the Imam. When the time comes, no, this is not the occasion. Right, any other question?
Assalamu alaikum. Brother Deedat, nice to have you here amongst us. My question is in a form of a little statement. A little while ago, we heard your speech telling us that in your place, back home in Surat, there were a lot of neon lights and people used to be proud of wearing this cap. I was 21. And when you went back recently, you found that people didn't have their caps on because India is independent now. There's a lot of persecution going on there. Similarly, here in this country, there is a color discrimination. And worst is the religious discrimination. And especially we Muslims. And especially...
I think the mic is not on.
Why did you come here?
Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. Simply for those people who have not heard this before, I was putting a question in a form of a statement that Brother Deedat had visited back in India, his place where he originally came from. And people used to, in them days, wear this cap on their head. And there were some nearby, the people who really fought and defended Islam. But then recently when he went back, he found that people weren't wearing this cap because India is now independent and there's a lot of persecution going on of the Muslims there. My question is this, that in India, there are many more Muslims than there are here in England. In England, there is a discrimination of color and there is a greater discrimination of religion. We have an Islamic Education Society in Hayes, and when I approached a government department for an assistant, they looked at the name of my letterhead, Islamic Education Society, and they said, sorry, we don't give any help to the religious organization. Now, this society doesn't only propagate Islam, but it also does other social work for the community in that area. And the Muslims everywhere have their own social needs apart from their religion. but they are thrown out of the window simply from the title. We also heard that in India, they are trying to dissuade you from using your name. The example was given. Similarly, there is an effort here also to dissuade you from using your name, to dissuade you not to use your Islamic name for the organization. Take out the word Islam completely. Take out the word Muslim completely. Become a youth, Asian youth. Right. Become an Asian youth organization. Then of course you will get all the funds. But that Asian youth may be controlled by the Muslim youth. I'm asking Ahmed to throw more light and tell us that how do we defend this identity under such circumstances.
Thank you.
You see, if as it is, you can't hide your identity, that you are not an Englishman. Bulk of us. There are some of us might pass, but very few, can pass as a white man. The white man is other European. So, in the very first group, you know that you are an outsider, an interloper. Now, religious identity. I said, look, suppose it militate against your job. In the office, if you wear this, the guy doesn't want you, discrimination. You can keep taking off. But as soon as you come out in your own time, who's stopping you? In your own time. When you get into the underground, who stops you? So, the very fact that you find half a dozen people wearing around, walking around, the hooligans also won't touch you. Because, hey, these guys, maybe that will come to this, like the Sikh. You see a quarter dozen Sikh, half a dozen Sikhs. When I went to Hong Kong, I'm going through, I see a Sikh standing outside the bank with his turban and his uniform. I see another Sikh riding a bicycle. I see another guy riding a taxi. I see another Sikh walking with his wife. And it left an impression that there are many Sikhs in Hong Kong. But there were at that time 6,000 Pakistanis. And there was not one Pakistani that you can see. There were 6,000 Pakistanis that I found that were there in Hong Kong at that time when I went in 1977. But there was not one you could see with an identity. Not one had the Jinnah tag. You see, so there it is. Now, who's stopping you in your own time when you leave your job? Suppose at your job, but I think that even at your work, if you put this on, there is a respect due to you. I work for Jews, I work for the whites, and my identity created respect. They knew that this is Muslim fellow, he stands for the principle. In my country, if you're standing for the lift, hitchhiking. If you have a head here, you will get a lift in double good time. Because the person knows this guy is identifying himself, he knows where he belongs. Otherwise, we don't know what he is, a hooligan, a riffraff, a cutthroat, we don't know. So the guy passes you by. But you have an identity, immediately, almost immediately somebody stops, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, because you are not ashamed of your identity. The guy gives you a lift. I feel trapped. And if they bash you on your head for that, alright, then put it inside your pocket. But I feel that nobody will do that. The Englishman, I find that he seems to be a very tolerant, generally, he's a very tolerant man. He is a very kind and hospitable person. I found him. Very cooperative. If you want a direction, the guy stops, all his thing, and he wants to go out of his way to show you. My people in my country, no white people ever do that for you. Guys doing it. Again and again. One day we needed about the help of about 8 to 12 white people wanting to find this Lubishan from Slough. And the guy, everyone will stop. And now one fellow says, come on, you follow me. And you follow me. And they say, now you carry on. I feel that there are good people. The thing is, you can change them for the better. With our Deen, you can make them, really torchbearers of enlightenment. They can do a better job than us. Once you convince them that this is the way, this is the solution to all the problems, and which Islam is the solution to all the problems. Give it to them, share it with them, and in that process, that Allah will put you on. However, the details about your problem, I think you should discuss among your own brothers.
Can I say a word? Referring to our brother, our Muslim brother.
But it relates to
Has the sister got a question? There's microphones provided upstairs for sisters to ask questions.
Hello. Deedat, I wanted to let you to say that we should change the environment because the environment changes us. But the environment doesn't care anyway. Our children go to school and we teach them about religion. But the other people, the mothers, they don't care. We don't care whether Jesus is God or not. We just live the life we want to live. And then, our children say that, yes, it's better not to know the religion anyway. Nobody cares about religion anyway. How do you change these people?
I think in a nutshell the question was about the pearls. The environment at school is Western, which can't be helped. So we can't change them to say, now look, we want everybody to wear Islamic dress or do this or do that. We can't. But you see, the problem is at home, the pearls. They are not Islamically inclined. And I agree with my sister that is the problem. The pearls themselves are indifferent. What happens? So for that, we have to preach to them. And the best opportunity we have is Friday, Jummah. We give the khutbah. Stress this point. How that we can make Muslims better Muslims, that they can care for the children really Islamically. That once they do that, change the children, and the children, they will be able to change their fellow students. And so overall, we might be able to change the environment. It's something we have to try.
I will quote this verse from Al-Imran. This is regarding this be upon him and the invitation which was given through our Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, to the Christians of that time. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Inna masala Isa indallahi kamasali Adama khalaqahu min turabin summa qala lahu kun fayakun. Al-haqqu min rabbika fala takun min al-mumtarin faman hajaka fihi min ba'di ma ja'akum min al-ilm faqul ta'alu nad'u abna'ana wa abna'akum wa nisa'ana wa nisa'akum wa anfusana wa anfusakum summa nabtahil fanaj'al la'natullahi al-khasirin. The translation is the similitude of Jesus before God is as that of Adam. He created him from dust, then said to him, be, and he was. The truth comes from God alone, so be not of those who doubt. If anyone disputes in this matter with thee, now after full knowledge hath come to thee, say, come, let us gather together, our sons and your sons, our women and your women, ourselves and yourselves. Then let us earnestly pray and invoke the curse of God on those who die. I would like to ask Brother Deedat that this invitation, which is in the shape of Mubarak, this was given to our Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and this invitation still exists in Quran. I would like to know that why Muslim scholars they put this challenge before the non-Muslims, the Christians.
The time and the occasion for the verse, the Shan and Nuzul, I take it is that the Christian deputation had come from Najran to Medina. They had heard that now an Arab is claiming to be in communication with Allah, is claiming to be a prophet. So they said, let's go and cross-examine him. Let us see what he knows. And for 3 days and 3 nights, a dialogue took place between our Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Christian. During the course of the dialogue, this is some of the things that happened. One is that they said that Jesus Christ is Allah's son because he's got no father. So Allah gives by Wahi to our Nabi to tell them, Inna masala Isa inda Allahi ka masali Adam. The similitude or the example of Isa, Jesus, in the sight of Allah is like that of Adam. خَلَقَهُ مِنْ تُرَابٍ. He created him from dust. ثُمَّ قَالَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُنْ. And he said, be, and he was. In other words, if Jesus, because he had no earthly father, if that makes him God or the veritable son of God, then Adam is a greater God or a greater son of God. That was the logic. But the arguments continued, and the people started accusing them. The Christians started accusing Ahmed of falsehood, that you are a liar, you are like this, you are like that. Now when it reaches that stage, so for 3 days and 3 nights, it was a dialogue, a discussion, which we are supposed to have. Ya Al-Huda, come, do what? A dialogue, a discussion. But when it reached the stage of cursing, the guy started saying that, look, you are a liar, you are a cheat, you are an imposter. Now you reach a stage where you have to start now rolling up your sleeve. So, our Nabi Karim Sallallahu he would do that. He said, look, if you accuse me of a lie, there's no sense in me telling you, you are a liar, and you say, I'm a liar, I say the curse of God is in you, and you say the curse of God is in you. Let us now make a direct appeal to Allah, to arbitrate in this dispute. So saying, he said, look, tomorrow morning, I will come with my family, and you come with your family, all of you, and we will invoke the curse of Allah upon whom he who lies. Ya Bani Ta'ala, if I am a liar, destroy me. They say, look, Ya Bani Ta'ala, if you are lying, destroy us. It has reached that pitch from a dialogue, a discussion, to a contest of cursing called Mubahila, from Munazira to Mubahila. So if you reach that stage, then there's only way out. If the man says, look, everything, nothing works, and the guy is cursing, abusing you, that God will destroy you, so well, that time we will pray to God to destroy who lies. That is the difference. But we haven't even started the dialogue. When we talk about cursing people, when we haven't opened your mouth, first open your mouth. See, invite all the ways of the Lord with wisdom, with beautiful preaching, and reason with them, ways that are best and most gracious. Old Quran is the system Allah is teaching you how to do the job. If you have another occasion, I will tell you how Allah does the job. I can carry on, hold you for another half an hour, but it's not fair to anybody, not to me. Okay? From this morning, I will edit, all over where I'm going. I came straight from somewhere, straight from the masjid. I want to go to the hotel. I have no time to go to the hotel. I just came straight here because circumstances. So there is a limit to what we can carry on. But this is the situation. The situation is, number one, you must start with a dialogue, a discussion. Long before you come to the stage of cursing. And in this environment, in this day and age, you won't come to that stage. The guy will back out, you will back out, he says, look man, I agree to disagree. If this is your way, lakum deenukum waliya deen. You come to that and say, you go your way, I go my way. As a last resort. Lakum deenukum waliya deen. Your religion, you be mine. As a last resort. You will not come to this stage. But our Nabi Karim, in that primitive time, the Christians, they provoked him to that. They said, all right, Allah says, then tell them, come, let's get together and let's invoke the curse of Allah upon him who lies. So that Mubahila is the last resort.
Could questioners please keep their questions short and simple? And the next question from the sister, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Brother Deedat, I'd like to ask you something to do with questions. I know some Christians who are so convinced about Jesus' healing power that they have witnessed it in their own families, where somebody practically who is clinically dead was brought back to life. Literally, they prayed to Jesus Christ, if you like, and they claim that it was due to his power that the child or whoever was so seriously ill was healed. Now, what sort of reply do I give to that Christian?
The question is that some Christians, somebody must have claimed that the person was clinically pronounced dead, and with all the instruments you have at your disposal, and somebody came along and prayed and the person came back to life, so that means now he's on the truth. That their religion is right, because they have direct access. Now people like that, you tell them, what are you wasting your time? You're an individual, the hospitals are full of your brothers and sisters, go and heal them. What are you waiting for people to die and bring them back to life? The surgeons are doing it daily. People have been pronounced dead, certified dead, and they have been coming back to life again and again. Here in England, a man was certified dead. He had donated his kidneys, to the kidney bank. But in England, in the UK, before you can operate to extricate the organ, any organ, that person must be certified dead by 2 surgeons. And this individual was certified by 2 surgeons that he's dead as a dodo. So they took him to the operating table, the box. And the surgeon who was performing the operation to take out the kidneys, he puts the knife to his abdomen. And he hears a sigh. He's looking around with the message. Did you do that? Did you do that? He said, no. And the heart starts to palpitate and the man came back to life. Look, this knife did the job. Now what are you going to say? The knife is gone? No, look, these things are happening daily. Daily they pronounce people dead. In the Food Steer Hospital in South Africa, one of the most prominent hospitals in the country, where Chris Barnard operates, heart transplants, a white woman was certified dead, put into the mortuary, certified dead, next morning she comes out alive. Who performed the miracle? That's happening daily. These mistakes are being made. So somebody, by the way, comes along, says, wake up, and the guy wakes up, so what, I'm a god? What? It's a coincidence. Things do happen. So tell them, if they claim all these heavenly powers of healing people, they say, what you wasting time? Go to the hospital and get them all out, all those people with hair, lip, and club foot. Go on, do something for them. What are you wasting time learning where to go? The patients are there waiting for you.
Islam. Now, the Christians claim that the Quran actually says that Jesus will die and will be raised up to life again in Surah Maryam, verse 33, which the translation of which follows as, so peace is on me the day that I was born, the day that I died, and the day that I shall be raised up to life again. What is your answer to that, please?
Now the answer is straight, it's there. Allah is telling you, stands to reason. What happened in the Royal Albert Hall was that this Arab Christian, he mistranslated the verse. See, the same fellow, Dr. Sharosh, he had come along at the Royal Albert Hall. It's on tape, V19 tape, I think it's available there. Where he comes along and he says, look, what have you to say? This is what he said.
If the Quran is indeed from God, does it contradict itself in as much as it says, Therefore Jesus was born, he died and he rose again.
I don't speak like an Arab, but it is. This is translated, so peace is on me, the day that I was born, the day that I died, and the day that I shall be raised to life again. As an Arab, you have to have known better than that. But the answer was, I reread the verse, and I told him then, which translated means, so peace is on me, the day that I was born, the day that I die, and the day that I shall be raised to life again. The day that I die, it is not the day that I died. It's not died, it's in the future. So we believe that there will be a day that Isa alayhi salam must die. Allah says that every soul must taste of death. Every soul. Jesus must also, he must taste of death, and Allah brings him back to life again. This is our belief with regards to all human beings. Everybody must die, and everybody will be raised to life again. Not excluding Jesus.
Can a sister ask a question, please? Assalamu alaikum. Brother Ahmed, what does the Bible say about the rights of women, and how does this compare with those in Islam? And if they compare well, how do you answer some of the allegations made by some Christians?
For example, what allegations?
They say that Muslims mistreat women and women are covered and such allegations.
A very generalized question. You see, if the person tells you something specific, mistreat women, the Europeans, are they all treating the women well? Are they? No. Because you know what's happening, not leave out the women, their own children. They're committing incest with their own children. 8% of all wives in South Africa, they commit incest with their own daughters, not stepdaughters. 8%. So what are you talking about? Huh? The wife says, what are you talking about? You have a right to point a finger at us. You, last June, 300,000 sodomites, you call them gays. They gathered in San Francisco on a pilgrimage, led by 50 lesbians on motorcycles. You have a right to point a finger at us. When I came on my previous trip, 8,000 gays, they gathered in Hyde Park, selling their wares, trying to tell people that there's something wrong with you, you should be like them, you have a right to point a finger at us. You have a surplus of women. There are 3 million more English women than men. If every man in England got married, there will be 3 million women who can't get husbands. It's a fine solution for them. In New York, your Christian nation, New York, there are 1 million more women than men. If every man in New York gets married, there will be 1 million women in New York who can't get husbands. I'm telling my Arab brother, go there. And marry them 4 at a time. Bring them back 4 at a time. You can't propagate Islam from them out, go and marry them and take them and get every year 4. And of the manpower that they have there, 1/3 are gays, 1/3 are gays. Sodomites, 1/3. See the problem? Catamites and sodomites, 1/3. You have a right to point a finger at us. This filthy, dirty thing, sodomy, you call it. What a beautiful word, you are prostituting. You know, when I was small, I used to go to school, I should learn sing song. The teachers said, gentle lords and ladies gay, on the mountain tops a day. Ladies gay, happy and gay, happy and go, let's say happy go lucky. It's like very gay, happy and gay. It was a beautiful word, happy and gay. Now you said, yeah, happy and gay. You had a right to point a finger at us. Yes, I don't know why you are apologizing. For what? Oh, you people are allowed to have more than one wife. Yes, up to 4. Up to 4. Allah tells us in the Holy Quran, say marry women of your choice, by 2s and 3s and 4s. But if you cannot do justice between them, marry only one. The only religious book on the face of the earth which has that expression, marry only one, is the Quran. There is no other book on earth which says marry only one. There are problems in society where it becomes necessary for a man to take on extra responsibility. Like after wars, other natural reasons, calamities, there are times when a man must take on extra responsibility. And I'm reading news, daytime from London, again and again, a man is charged for bigamy in your country. Bigamy. Bigamy is having more than one wife, 2. So the law says divorce one of them or go to jail. Both the women say, look, leave us alone, we are happy with the man. The law says no, divorce one of them or go to jail. There's something wrong with your brain. Something wrong with you. Look, your law allows sodomy. Homosexuality is legal, is legalized. Lesbianism is legalized. But the most natural thing, polygamy, you say, oh, my dead body, you won't have it. You will put the man in jail. He can get a dozen illegitimate children every year. You call him a stallion. He's a great guy. You have a right to call a finger at us. Huh? So now look, why are you apologizing? Soon after the war, I think this is the last question. Please sit down. Soon after the war, yes. Soon after the war, the last Second World War, I'm reading another dateline from London. It said 5,000 misfits to be shipped to America. That's the headline. 5,000 misfits to be shipped to America. And the human mind is very imaginative. You think when you read that, you have the whole idea of what the whole thing is about. That's what I thought. I was thinking that perhaps America medically is more advanced than England. So they must be sending the cripples, the people with herpes and clubfoot for treatment in America. The headline, 5,000 misfits to be shipped to America. But when I read further, it revealed to me that these 5,000 misfits were the offsprings of Negro soldiers stationed on the west coast of England during the war. Please, sit down. They were offsprings of Negro soldiers stationed in England during the war. They were too black to be absorbed into English society. You know, with crinkly hair, with little stumble, and high cheekbones. If your sister had one of those, and everybody coming by, say, what's this? To my sister Mary's child. Hey, what's this? To my sister Mary's child. How do you feel? Horrible. They shipped them all to America. So I'm asking the question. The question I'm asking. Said, how many Negro soldiers were there compared to the whites in the UK, in your Great Britain? How many compared to the white Australians, the white New Zealander, the white South African, the white Canadian, the white American, the white Free French, the white Free Poles, compared to the British soldier? How many blacks were there compared to the whites? Negligible. Compared to the whites, negligible number of Negro soldiers. Then again, they were taught given lessons in prophylactics, to avoid impregnation, to avoid disease. And we know that every arrow doesn't hit the mark, nor is every prayer granted. What amount of mischief was done in Christian England to produce those 5,000 misfits? Can you imagine? And you have a right to point a finger at us? You? I don't know why we should apologize for anything. What should I apologize for? There's nothing you have to apologize for. Allah. Yes, go on. Come on, man. Come. What you want to know? This is the teaching of Islam. What have you got? It's like nothing. There's nothing you can tell you except one, that Christ died for your sins. He can't teach you hygiene, he can't teach you ethics, he can't teach you morality. There's nothing he can teach you. Nothing. What are you going to do? Yes. What you want to do? Why didn't you train you about that? Why? I said, go to town with them, man. This is the destiny. Allah says, he is the hero of Allah.